issue. If they do try to disarm us like the Nazis did, it's gonna be a serious situation. And that's what the globalists want, folks. Let's fix the country peacefully. Let's take our counties and cities back. Let's not let them use fake terror and hyped up events to scare us into submission, to give up our First Amendment or our Second Amendment or our property rights. Let's stand strong and come together. And that's why, and we're going to play this later, Congresswoman Giffords, she was talking about shattering the left-right paradigm, and for a Democrat was pretty conservative on the border and Second Amendment. And a lot of Democrats had been attacking her for voting against Nancy Pelosi and others.
Exactly. She was independent. She was an Arizonan by heart. And so she was standing for her people on several issues. Yeah, she was still a Democrat on some issues, but on some real key issues, she was very independent and very Arizona. And
a guy that all his friends called very liberal, extremely liberal, who liked to dress up like a girl, who liked to dress up like the Grim Reaper, who you know, in between the time he was doing voodoo rituals in his own little voodoo temple in the backyard that Mommy and Daddy, I guess, knew about and let him have at 20-something years old. Now we're blamed for that. No, you will not blame us for that. If this guy claimed he was a Tea Partier and ran American flags up to the top of the pole every day, it's still not my fault what somebody else does. But to claim that this freak represents true conservatives is a fraud and a stinking joke. I'm going to go to our phone line system here, 877-789-ALEX. Let's talk to Mark in Texas and then JB. Mark, you're on the air with Sheriff Richard Mack. Okay, he's gone.
How are you?
Okay, Mark, you there? Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Do y'all know about Joe Zamudio, the hero that ran into the action and subdued the gunman? He was packing... He had a gun on him. Yeah, I seen him on Fox News today, and they didn't know that at first, but when they found out, I mean, their jaws just dropped to the ground. And I'm sure they're going to try to bury this guy. I couldn't find him anywhere else, but he's on a YouTube video with Geraldo, did an interview with him. So you might want to check that out.
Yeah, I'm glad you called, because I heard them say a man with a gun subdued him, and then we've been looking for days, and it's so buried we can't find it. Oh, we have it? Okay, well, then I'll take it if you got it. And if you got the Geraldo, we'll post it on InfoWars or Prison Planet. But they've really been trying to bury that, haven't they, Sheriff Max?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did. They tried to bury it. However, he was just a little bit late getting there with his gun. They actually were trying to report that he had a gun, but it wasn't loaded. No, I don't believe that's the case. What happened is he went into the store and heard the shooting and went back out there, and then... I think the suspect was reloading at the time, trying to put in another clip, and that's when the guy decided to tackle him, and then somebody helped him, and then a third person came over and sat on him as well. But what I would say, if any of the Tea Party people I know, and I've talked over at 100 Tea Parties across this country in the last year and a half, not once did anybody ever mention that we should kill politicians, that we should kill anybody, that this was a call to arms. No one has ever talked about that, Alex, at any of the Tea Party groups ever. They want, yes, they're mad, they're frustrated, but all they want is their Constitution back, and they want the politicians who swear an oath to actually follow the Constitution to pretend to do it sometimes, and they're sick and tired of watching this corruption, and they want some answers, and they want a change in our country. That's all they're asking for.
Okay, local radio is reporting that gunman was shot by defender in the crowd, and we have Fox News' Shepard Smith now reporting this, so our webmasters are going to get it up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But if they have successfully kept it quiet that the guy actually shot him, or that may be a misreport. Sheriff Mack, again, you've got that he only came out and helped tackle him but didn't use his gun?
Correct. That's the story I've got at this point. But I think this comes back to a point you were making earlier. This idiot, this lunatic, thought he was going to be shot. He knows that people have guns in Arizona. He knows people have guns in Tucson. He expected to be that there would be security. He expected that after he got 4 or 5 off, that somebody was going to shoot him. This was his way to go out in a blaze of glory. He expected to be assassinated, and
Boy, can you imagine this spoiled brat living with mommy and daddy at 22? Can you imagine what he's going to like, a Supermax and then lethal injection?
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, he is so crazy, maybe he needs to just be in a mental institution. I mean, he's clearly completely a fruitcake.
Well, the people in his class at Pima Community College had reported him to the school, and teachers and security and others, saying this guy's a kook, he's violent, he's crazy, get him out of here. They took action, but law enforcement, I guess, never did.
Well, they went to his house, and they promised to put him in psychiatric care. And if they did put him on the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, it's on the drug insert. It can trigger psychotic, violent breaks. Sheriff Max, stay there, my friend. More calls straight ahead from JB, Sean, and many others. Randy, Joe, Mark, Amy, you name it. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Good day, Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, January 10th, 2011. Gold opened this morning at $1367.40. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1402.91, $701.45 for a half ounce, or $350.73 for the quarter ounce. That's $1402.91, $701.45, or $350.73.
Again, the Congressional Budget Office sounds the alarm, warning of Greek-style U.S. debt crises. CBO is drawing a parallel between U.S. economy and the Greek economic meltdown. Debt to GDP climbing to unfamiliar territory and deficits rising to unsupportable levels. Hi, Ted Anderson. The Federal Debt and Risk of Financial Crises document the CBO has published is a must-read for every American. Covering the risks of deficit spending, aging population, and rising interest rates spells economic disaster. Call today at 800-686-2237. I'll send it free. Again, call 800-686-2237. Ask for the CBO document. Call 800-686-2237.
New year, new way to smoke, and it's totally wicked. Introducing Totally Wicked e-liquid electronic cigarettes, the highest quality e-cigarettes in the world. With Totally Wicked e-liquid cigarettes, there's no flame, no secondhand smoke, no carbon monoxide, no tar, no unsightly brown teeth or fingers, and no lingering smell. Totally Wicked e-liquid cigarettes have a battery charge that lasts up to 8 hours. Plus, with a Totally Wicked Tornado model, the average pack-a-day smoker is likely to save over $1,000 a year. The Totally Wicked Tornado provides a storm of vapor. See it at totallywicked-eliquid.com. That's totallywicked-eliquid.com. Or call 888-761-9425. Get a 15% discount with promo code GCNLive. Go to totallywicked-eliquid.com or call 888-761-9425. That's 888-761-9425. Or online at totallywicked-eliquid.com. Totally Wicked e-liquid cigarettes, the next generation of alternative smoking.
Nations estimates there'll be 7 billion people on this globe. In fact, I have the latest National Geographic here. Population 7 billion. How your world will change. What, with a couple 100 million more people? Well, it won't change. Except they want to sell you on humans being bad, humans being evil. We've shown you all these environmental ads where it shows young school children who won't submit to carbon tax, so their teacher murders them. There's this anti-human, pro-death, obsession with death, nihilistic movement being pushed by the so-called environmentalists who are really eugenicists. And that's the article we haven't written yet for Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. That's the story we haven't gotten to yet, is that they're the ones promoting the culture of death. And I don't even call them liberals. They're just fascist, death-loving, death-pushing control freaks posing as liberals. Now, we've got Larry Pratt popping in, but I will get to JB, Sean, John, Joe, Randy, Mark, Amy. I'm going to get to all of you. We're going into a full 4th hour of Overdrive. I'll also have a message to the gun grabbers and the globalists. I have this article I want to read in its entirety. Talk about piercing research. I want to get my crew on this. Top U.S. federal judge assassinated after threat to Obama agenda. When I learned what Judge Roll was doing on a key executive order with Obama and the Executive Order 13528 dealing with the 10 FEMA governors, this judge was really on target. And then talking to Sheriff Mack, how he was a pro-Second Amendment patriot, I tell you, this whole thing stinks worse and worse by the minute. Sheriff Mack, let's finish up our talk with Judge Roll and how important he was to you. He's in all your books. You talked about him in one of your speeches you gave out in California with yours truly. You talked about him every time you come on this show. You really admired him as one of the few good federal judges, and then magically he's dead. And by this guy running around saying he was under mind control.
Yeah, the coincidences just keep piling up, and after you get to 10 or 15 of them, you know, maybe they weren't coincidences. Very rarely do things happen in our government today that are just coincidence. However, be that as it may, Judge John Roll was a good man. In my very first book, we dedicate a lot of it to what he did and said. On page 19, his ruling is quoted. I've never seen any judge be more forthright and constitutional in a ruling in my life. I've been around a lot of judges, probably hundreds, but I've never seen anybody stand for foundational American principles like this man did. If it wasn't for him, I would not have made it through this. His decisions propelled me to the Supreme Court, and a lot of what he said in the original was used then. One thing, when I was testifying at the district court level, which was the only place any of the sheriffs involved in this testified, was at the district court. In his courtroom, I was testifying, and the lawyer for the federal government was attacking me and cross-examining me. And then she turned to the judge and said, and Larry Pratt can back this up too, about the statistics that the federal government was using. She said, Your Honor, in the first 4 months, the Brady bill has prevented 250,000 felons from gaining access to guns in this country. And then he stopped her, and he said, Counselor, do not try to pretend in this courtroom that your statistical analysis somehow equates to constitutionality. And then that is how Scalia, in his ultimate ruling, said, no case-by-case weighing of the burdens or benefits is necessary. Such commands are fundamentally incompatible with our constitutional system of dual sovereignty. In other words, talking about state sovereignty, that the states are not subject to federal direction. And this whole thing is so principled that I had to put it in these books. And, of course, Judge John Roll is mentioned in every one of them, and now he's dead.
Amazing, and folks can find out more about those books at your website. Invaluable information. You've got some of your latest books on how to educate sheriffs and county commissioners about their proper role against the federal/international takeover at sheriffmack.com. And Sheriff, we really look forward to speaking to you again in the near future. And be safe out there.